Welcome to Something Slight on Kismet Radio. I'm your host, Tara, and we're here at Private Stock Studio with the Real Ones crew. We got Ben, Brandon, Elizabeth, Jordan, and Molly here. Real Ones is a Chicago-based event production company and multimedia music platform which started in 2020. Since then, they've interviewed over 100 artists and creatives, produced countless events, and curated monthly playlists. But I know I'm just skimming the surface. So welcome to the studio. How's everyone doing?
We're doing good. Come on, yeah. All right.
Before we get into our conversation, we're going to play a few records.
Bitches that need forehead kisses, who's left to pacify themselves whenever the plot gets sticking. Was pushed off the porch, so you had to wear them bigger britches. Invisible at your house, but the streets gave you attention. And now I sip it. I fear I'm made in my mother's image. Even my sunny disposition cast the biggest shadows. Shine my light in the darkest corners of your mind. I face it with you, baby. You don't ever have to hide. I'll give you grace if you hold space. Yeah, that's my trade-off. Hold my weight. I change my ways, yeah, that's the payoff. Can't take no days off, cause now I got responsibilities. Never got the chance to love, so what the fuck is chivalry? It's killing me that I gotta put on this armor. It can't shield me from trauma. Got PTSD from a past life, I guess that's just karma. I guess that's just karma. I guess that's just karma. I need space inside, feel my arm, my all. I need space inside.
The caller you have reached is currently emotionally unavailable. Please hang up and don't call again. Goodbye.
I woke up today and I'm feeling some type of way. They ask me how I feel, but I don't have shit to say. I woke up today and I'm feeling some type of way. They ask me how I feel, but I don't have shit to say. You wanna keep going? I woke up today and I'm feeling some type of way. They ask me how I feel, but I don't have shit to say.
Honey, are you fucking kidding me?
to the back. These niggas still friends. Where you from? Middle fingers on 6, I go across your head like a ducky. What you doing, little nigga? I been going dummy. 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 Dumbass. I been going dummy. Big guns on me like I came out the army. Get these fuck niggas off me. This a old school, not an Audi. I'ma drive a light 12 right behind me. Since a young nigga been solid. Why these fuck niggas always dick riding? Put some green on a nigga head, then it's robbing. Get a city son to remember being lying. Niggas act rich, but they broke like a hymen. He a hood legend, but he still pay homage. Circle turned into a dot for the commas. F-150 Super Duty, it's a Tonka. Run around with big chop like Contra. Shout to say my name like a mantra. Gang that I'm with, they'll kill, they ain't friendly. It ain't on me cause it's in me. She ain't seen me in a while. I been getting to the money. Up, down, left, right, to the back. These niggas still friends. Where you from? Middle fingers on 6, I go across your head like a ducky. What you doing, little nigga? I been going dummy. 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 Dumbass. I been going dummy.
Hey, Ben.
Hi.
What's up?
I'm
Honestly,
good.
we haven't met. So this
Not
is right.
really. Not
I feel like I've
properly.
seen you around.
Yeah.
But
no,
not
same
not
thing.
for real. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm good. I'm good.
yeah.
I'm in the middle of my work day, but I was like, you know what? It's remote.
True.
Took an hour. I'm like, I can be here, with my ones.
Yeah, you got rep the set.
Of course.
Yeah. So how long have you been in Chicago? You're not from here.
Not from here, no. But I don't try to hide that from anybody. That's
Why
not
would
like
you
a
do
big
that?
secret.
No, I don't think.
Because it's, I mean, people would assume, just for the
Oh.
love that I have for the city.
True.
But yeah, then people find it, they're like, oh, I didn't know that. But I think I come from a different perspective, that can be a good thing at times. And of course, also like, there's just stuff I don't know that I need to be caught up on. Which,
Yeah, for sure.
That's fair. But I moved here properly in like August 2022, but I went to Northwestern the 4 years before. So
Oh, so you've been here.
yeah.
You would come to the
2018.
city.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
I was going to a lot of concerts in the city for the student radio station that I was part of. Just doing reviews, getting to go to shows for free.
Were you always writing about music?
That was that was definitely like, as soon as I started really doing journalism, that was pretty much in it from the jump. Like
Yeah.
I liked I thought I had really good taste, in high school, right? I was like, oh yeah, I'm tapped in, right? Who knows, if that's really true. But I like found out about a lot of Chicago music. It was really acid rap that really like went through my school halls and like my freshman year. So like 2014, 2015, that opened up a lot. Like even just finding out about No Name and Saba and Mick Jenkins and some of like the huge names around here. I just love that early mid 2010s like neo soul jazz rap sound a lot. It like made me want to come out here a little bit more, but it was really like an academic decision first, and then I decided, I just wanted to stay. I didn't
Why?
think it was a why. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to get away from New York. That's where I grew up.
The
right?
city or the
I was in the
upstate?
burbs.
Okay.
I was in the burbs. It's upstate is controversial because people are like, anywhere north of the city is upstate, but there's 8 hours of New York upstate. So
Yeah.
I was in Westchester, a town called Larchmont. That was about 30 minutes north of the city. Not technically upstate, I would say, but it was just inaccessible to get to the city. It was like a 20-minute train or $20 train ride round trip,
okay.
like minimum.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to take subways everywhere. That's just to get into like the center of the city. But once I, was off the Purple Line over in Evanston, it was like, oh yeah, I can go do this. Like I took the intercampus shuttle a couple of times. And yeah, from there is like, I didn't want to go back because it's like, there's just more for me here right now. Like the relationships that I made with everybody is just makes me, I have like a stronger community here than I ever did back home.
Yeah.
I knew people for, in a lot of different ways. Right. But I feel very like firmly based here now. And it's, it's also a reflection of all the coverage we're doing here. It's just something I think is too important to leave right now.
So what prompted you and Brandon to start Real Ones?
It was July of 2020. I was like, well, I guess even before the podcast itself formed, which was its initial form, like I was doing some blog writing for Philo, Project Philo, which was Brandon and Lauren co-founded this. Lauren is Brandon's sister,
Okay.
who went to college with me. And he just like, we kind of got to know each other, I would say, just online mainly. We hadn't met in person, but Lauren like introduced me and was like, hey, we'd love if you could come write, like, because she had read some of the articles I did for the radio station. And so I was like, I had that outlet during the pandemic, like March, April, May 2020. And there was it was like nothing really to do, no live shows to go to. So I couldn't tap into that at all. But I was like, I still want to kind of do some of these interviews in a different way, right? So I was just like, let me try to start this on Instagram Live or Zoom, right? And like, that first interview I was saying, right, it was on a park bench. Like I drove from Evanston to Blue Island, to go and do that one with Brittany Carter, shouts out, you know. But it was, Brandon and Lauren were super crucial in like the reasons why we were even able to like get those interviews and, even take us seriously because they just cared a ton. They were like, oh, if you don't want to make socials, like we'll post it on the Philo stuff. Like it'll be all kind of part of one thing, And so the actual point where we said, we're going to make Real Ones, like I put out this drunk tweet. I was like, oh, everyone wants Ben to start a podcast, right? Everyone's asking me, Ben, where's the podcast? Where's the podcast? And, that wasn't true, right? Nobody was asking me about that. But it was kind of like, oh man, why do we need another white guy with the podcast?
I was going to say that, but I wanted you to say it first.
No, yeah. And, I understand who I am, but I was like, oh, this will be funny. Right. And then Brandon quote tweeted this and he's like, who thinks Ben should drop the podcast? And I was like, oh, wow. So maybe I should do this. was like, what's it going to be? So that's when the music interviews kind of got incorporated and started that way.
Okay, so it was a podcast first before you did events.
Yeah, we did the podcast for 2 years, and then continued that a little longer. But then our first live event was like the 2-year anniversary of the podcast. So that would be August 2022.
What was that?
It was at book club. We just called it this is like 2-year anniversary show. I don't remember the names. Like I was like calling it Holy Matrimony loosely, whatever. I shout out to Blake Parker who designed like the flyers and everything. But we just got a lineup full of past guests, people I'd interviewed before. And at that point, I'd just been going out to so many live shows that I was like, oh, it made total sense to just build the lineup off of that. People like had that trust, that I was just really just present and around. And so I got the help of a couple folks to put that on in book club, sold out, but it's only like 50 tickets. So I wasn't like, oh my God, it was a great night though. And definitely made me want to keep doing more live events and make that a huge focus of what we were doing. I was like, I can't go back now.
Well, then you like shifted to, I guess, guerrilla style. Y'all were joking about it. I don't know if that's really what it is. Is that like one thing people pop out?
So it's like, I think the guerrilla aspect of it is more so like we don't have any interviews locked in and we just show up to a show.
Okay.
Right. So Paris, Texas, that interview that we did, which, okay, we got them to answer each like 2 questions, right? But we waited outside the spot while they were going to go greet fans in the alley, and so we interviewed a bunch of fans, right? And then by the time we like were able to like sneak our way through to the front and ask them some questions, like people were like, holy shit, like, oh my God, what are they going and doing right now? So that like, we got some eyes on us from that, not even like big break sort of thing, but people were interested in what we were doing. And like, there are a few people that were there that are like in this like Real Ones group chat that we have right now that like are really invested in what we're doing. It's because we were like there on the ground. But a lot of this stuff, when I say, if we talk about, guerrilla, like that's really what that is, the fan interviews mostly. But other times we're just coordinating interviews with publicists and
like after
doing
shows.
Stuff backstage.
Yeah.
But that's definitely a big part of what we do. And I just think it's because of the, I always wanted to return to doing stuff at live events and also doesn't give us the need to pay for space,
Yeah. And that's like a good marriage of like doing the interviews and like also doing events and
Yeah, it's convenient for the artist, they don't have to go to a separate location. And then we can also like, as we build, relationships with folks, they can eventually start to come to us.
Yeah, cool. Well, we're going to take a look at a clip from your interview with Carrie Foe from last summer.
Nice.
I think when I first started out, I was just trying to make as much music as fast as possible. I think I was just like following the mixtape blog era where it was like you had to get music out like consistently and fast enough for people to kind of care. Over time, I just realized for me to make the most quality music, I had to take my time, live my life, and like find something to talk about that was inspiring to me. I don't rush making music. I have to take my time with it.
At the beginning, you said interviewing Carrie was a bucket list interview for you.
Yeah.
What drew you to her music?
Ooh, man. I mean, so I was like just thinking about this the other day because somebody was like singing.
Carrie.
Yes. No, we got her right here. If she's in frame. Okay, yes. It was wonderful interviewing you. So thank you, to your physical form right here. But this is sick, by the way. Like,
yeah. That was a good
I know
purchase.
she had these.
Yeah.
I found Carrie for the first time. It wasn't even on some Chicago ties. She was in the video so I was a huge Childish Gambino stan, right? 2014, he dropped Kawhi Stone Mountain, like that R&B project / mixtape, on Stone Mountain. He did a version of her song No Small Talk where he like had a verse, you just put a verse on it, right? And yeah, I mean, she was saying make it bounce back like Spalding.
They had the remix.
Yeah, she did a remix. It didn't. I don't think that version actually made it out on streaming, but I was like on SoundCloud running that. Like, and so that. I mean, I'm taking calls. No small talk, right? Like, I looked at the video. I was like, yeah, her confidence was just bursting at the seams. I kept like looking around for stuff. I was like definitely a big fan of her earlier work and like SoundCloud. Like when I was digging up through there, like her song Goddamn was really good. Rap Game Daria was an awesome one. And then she like kind of reappeared for me like when Pivot Gang like dropped their album. She did a verse on there and I started to like get back in tune with what she had been up to. But yeah, it's like there'd been love for years. I was like, I couldn't believe it. You know, I
Yeah.
had a ton of songs saved by her.
I forgot that she did that Gambino song. That's probably how I found out about her.
I looked in and the blogs were on that so
Yeah.
heavy. Like, and that's, you know, brings me back to a time like you've done your complex writing and DJ booth and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's like, you know, that really was the X factor in like breaking an artist. So definitely times have changed.
Yeah,
But,
definitely.
yeah. It was a lot of publicity at that time.
How do you select the people you want to interview?
You know, we are so behind on interviews right now, so we may have to rethink this. But like, I think everybody, just because we've been recording so much, that it's like we're trying
Hard
to
to
get everything
get
out.
it all out.
Yeah. And so we're like in the process of bringing on new editors and everything, and like kind of trying to teach everybody, you know, a bunch of different skills. I've been doing most of the editing, like just about the entire time we've like,
shit.
done video stuff. Yeah, it's intense. But on the question, like, I think I definitely have taken like a big role in curating who I'd like to pop on. And like, it does matter a lot if I'm already listening to, like, I think a lot of the last year was going after interviews that we previously felt like people wouldn't give us time of day. And then sometimes, you know, you see a 10K or a 12K on Instagram or whatever, and somebody on the PR team changes their mind and they're like,
Right.
oh, you know what? Maybe we actually will give this to you. So we've been building out a lot of relationships with like PR teams and everything to like set up those interviews. And, you know, so we're trying to like look through their clients, see who's coming into Chicago. Like a lot of our main interviews have started out on there just because, and to that point, it had been like, you know, we were talking to all sorts of Chicago artists. Like that's definitely where it was beginning. But it's like we have this like unprecedented chance now to like go after who we've like wanted to talk to for years. And so we're trying to focus on that, but also, you know, a lot of our shows and our playlists, right, we're gearing those more towards Chicago and still making sure we're doing like news posts, feed posts, like cool shit that's happening around. And then also still making our presence known at the shows, showing up for folks that are just genuinely our friends too.
Who are other bucket list people? Artists.
I think everybody has their own on the team, so I definitely like everyone else to answer too. But for me, we're trying to get Tia Corinne real bad.
Oh, cool.
March 2nd. You know,
Freaky T.
fingers crossed. Yeah. I've emailed her back in 2021
Oh shit.
when she like first dropped that song with Kenny Beats. And yeah, it's been a lot of back and forth. I know everyone you need to talk to basically, but
Yeah.
we'll see if she's got the time. Another one would be Anderson .Paak. Like his music is just, he might be my favorite artist. I just, the versatility, the range, like I got to see that grin in person too. You know? But yeah, I mean, everyone's got answers to that.
Yeah.
Though. We just made a big old spreadsheet of like, if we get this person, who gets dibs, right? And so
Do you think you're gonna return? I feel like you kind of said this, but do you think you'll return to like more sit down interviews?
we're actually in the process of developing 2 new series.
Yeah.
That are gonna come in like, what's the word? Just coinciding with, in concordance with. That might be it.
In alignment with.
Yeah. In addition to what
Okay.
we're already doing. You guys are gonna cut this, right? But yeah, in addition to since we're making a lot of the focus, like the on-site show interviews, we're like actually developing 2 sit-down series. Ellie would definitely love to talk about one of those,
Yeah.
and then there's another one that Tyrell and Dro are going to be kind of spearheading. So we're getting into more like specialized programming, and that's where we're really going to like return back to the long form and try to have a setup like this. It's like, you know, it's nice that we wanted to like feel like we weren't taking anything crazy from anybody, but you know, if we're like benefiting, if a space is benefiting by us recording there in any way.
What do you mean
know.
taking?
Well, I mean, like, you know, if even asking somebody to do something for free is like, you know, makes me want to curl up and die.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
so oh my God.
Not the cosign you need, but
I think, you know, even Molly and Josh having like all this great camera equipment, or Ellie and Jordan volunteering their photography skills, eventually like Sydney and Ty, you know, doing their hosting, right? It's like everybody's playing a part, right? Everyone deserves, you know, a slice of the pie, right? So right now there is no pie.
Yeah.
So, if we get strategically connected, and we're able to like turn this into revenue,
Yeah.
then obviously everybody is getting what they, ideally deserve, right? But those asks just generally make me uncomfortable. It's something you got to fight against. So like, hey, can I use your space? I don't have any money.
Yeah.
Or do I want to use my personal finances for something like this? What do I have available? What am I comfortable investing? Like, it was a tough combo. Like at first I didn't even want to pay like $10.99 to upload our podcast episodes at first, but I got comfortable doing a little bit more with that front. And, I've definitely spent like some stacks for shows that maybe I shouldn't have, but it's you learn a lot. You learn a lot with the live events,
Yes.
especially. But yeah, I think like ultimately you do have to be comfortable investing at least a little bit, in your product. Figure out like,
I mean, you care.
yeah. And I think like that does help too. Like people are like, oh, you like we really rock with what you're doing. We want to do this for you. And that's like a strange feeling, because I don't know. It's I get a lot of awesome feedback, but it's still an ask, it's still like being dependent on somebody, and making sure like that they're getting what they need, as well.
Yeah. Well, we're going to watch this other clip from your interview with Zach Fox.
Something about your tweets, they come true. It's almost like prophecy.
I mean, I miss a lot. I thought Taylor Swift was going to convert to Islam at some point this year. We have a couple months left, you know what I mean? But
Well,
it's not looking hopeful. And at this point, even if she flirts with the idea, I'll take it.
No, that's good enough, honestly.
If Taylor Swift is seen in the club reciting A$AP Ferg and she says, Alhamdulillah, I'm going to take that as a win. I'm going to take that as...
She rapping that song at all. I think you got it.
You weren't conducting the interview, but you were present.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I ended up shooting the show,
Okay.
like photography that night, which was really cool.
Oh, sorry, Jordan.
Yes.
I feel like I didn't identify you because you're not
Yes.
Ben.
No, I'm not. I'm not Ben. No.
Yeah, right. You changed your hair color.
Yeah.
Tyrell looks like Zach.
A little bit, yeah.
Just a little.
That's what some say. Actually, a lot of people say that.
Right. Y'all had a whole clip about it.
Yeah. So that was a crazy thing to pop off too. I like everyone else. I wish Tyrell was here to explain a little bit of that, but they were both very enthusiastic about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like Tyrell and Zach were very much entertaining the look-alike conversation.
Yes.
On both ends.
It seemed like Zach thought Tyrell was funny, which is fun because
Yes.
Zach's supposed to be the funny person, right?
Right. They
Technically.
seem to really enjoy each other too.
Yeah.
That interview was very seamless and it went like on and on and
Yeah.
on.
But I feel like your interviews generally are both funny and insightful. How do you toe the line between those two things?
Well, I think Ty and Sid specifically have a lot of expertise in really staying steadfast with their mindset during an interview because you never really know what someone's going to say to you. And sometimes I've seen people not exactly enthusiastically like answer a certain question, but they just bounce back and chime in with something more comedic, and it kind of gets everything back on track for people to be enthusiastic again. I don't know if anything's really meant to be super serious because this is not necessarily the most serious thing. It's about getting to know other people and artists and connecting our audience with people that they want to see and know about.
Yeah, but I don't think it's not serious. Yeah.
I
I mean, because you guys do ask insightful, probing questions, but then, some of the questions are light. Yeah.
I feel like it's more personable than it is serious.
Okay. That's fair.
So it's really about who they are. It's in depth. It's definitely in depth. But serious, I don't know. To me, that's like no fun zone. But we're a big fun zone.
But you're talking to a real journalist here,
Yes.
I'm just kidding. So you said that you were at the show. You said you met Zach Fox's dad.
Yes, well, both of them, of course. But
Yeah.
yes, his Felonious Monk, he was awesome.
Yeah.
While Zach was performing, me and him were off to the side, and that's where I was taking some photos as well. But just to see his reaction and watching his son performed, he was very taken aback by it. He was taking like all the old head videos and whatnot, and like this is my son, and it was very heartwarming to see.
Yeah.
You don't see that often. There's not a lot of people. We see a lot of shows. How many times do we see their parents there with them?
Yeah.
You know. Mm-hmm.
It was a real what?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they had joked about it on Twitter before. We looked way into this because some people had thought that it was not real. So we looked into it
Allegedly.
and looked up tweets on Twitter and stuff, and it had been joked about by them in the past.
They were joking about it.
Yes. And so people probably didn't think much of it, but then that night they're like, yeah, this.
They like went on stage and they was like, "This is my father."
I can't recall if he brought him on stage, but he told
just kidding.
he told us though, and then he said when he was on stage, like, to have my dad here and this and that. So I would assume he's still talking about that same person that he privately introduced as his dad.
So you shoot videos.
Mostly photo
Okay,
for real
okay.
ones. Yes.
And you've been doing that for some time.
Since pretty much, so at the time of us doing this, we have our Valentine's show tonight, and the first show I shot for Real Ones was the Valentine's show last year.
Okay. Oh, so a year.
Yeah.
Your
it's
anniversary.
it's been a year.
Yeah. Are you liking it?
I love it.
Yeah.
It's fun. I love live music. I love seeing new artists. And I also just love being part of a team and working together with everyone and striving towards bigger goals for all of us.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we're going to play this next clip, Pink Sifu and Too Rich Benji.
Yeah, you can take weed on the airplane. You good, trust me.
As long as you're flying to another state where it's legal, you can take that shit.
Oh, as long as you flying.
Is that a new rule?
You good, bro.
It's been a thing.
I don't be flying. I don't be going
Telling
nowhere.
you good.
What's good, Brandon?
What's good?
So you and Ben co-founded
Correct.
Real Ones. Who? Okay, tell me, because I didn't ask Ben this. So co-founder, what is Ben? What is your title?
Shoot, I mean, head of booking, head of curation,
Mr. One.
maybe not head of curation, co-head of curation, head of like interviews, head editor. I do most things.
Yes, and you're co-founder.
I'm just Brandon.
Okay.
For being honest.
Fair.
For sure. Like, this is Mr. Ones over here.
Well, so y'all recorded the Pink Sifu and Too Rich Benji clip at the compound. Shout out Classic.
Shout out Classic.
Yeah, that was cool. You said that y'all did a listening party there.
Yeah.
Too, recently.
We did a listening party recently, which like was super cool.
Yeah.
Because we want to do more like events, listening party events, and that was like a really cool moment where we played an artist named Asha Muno's upcoming album. And just even apart from like the artists, you know, who we threw the listening event for, again, we want to do more stuff like that where we brought in like such a organic, intentional community of people that have already been supporting Real Ones, no matter what the type of event is, no matter what, you know, the circumstances, the type of day. And it was just really cool. Like, so shout out Classic for allowing us to put something together like that.
How do you feel like y'all support, because you do a lot of different stuff and a lot of your interviews are with bigger artists. So how do you support the local musicians, Chicago musicians?
Yeah. You know, I feel like that's such a great question because all of us would have a different answer.
Yeah.
But my answer, also, I should preface, I am not from Chicago. So,
me neither, so that's fine.
Word. Okay. Well, thank you for validating me. But it's important I say that, right? Because like, as much as I'm tapped in with the local community here and much as they like welcome me in their, you know, space, true Chicagoans, like I'm never going to truly be a Chicagoan. But with that said, it's just like there's such a cultivated community here. And to answer your question, like the way I would answer is from the very foundation, from the very get-go, like Real Ones has always been like Chicago, like, and it always will be Chicago, no matter where it takes, no matter, I mean, I think a good reference here, shout out to Tyrell, who like we're all extremely proud of. Like he's doing his thing, like in multiple places, as a tour manager as well right now. But I say that because we brought Jersey to Chicago. Like we had a show where we had all, local native New Jersey acts. But at the same time, it's like even when we activate things like that, it always comes back to Chicago. So like whether it's through the playlist, whether it's through the shows, we're always going to ensure that like we never forget the roots, the reason why any of this even exists to begin with.
Yeah. So what made y'all start Real Ones? What did you think was lacking in Chicago?
Yeah, again, like...
Or Chicago media.
Chicago media.
Because I could say a lot about that.
For sure. So my answer, and I'm going to keep like sounding like a broken record when I say my answer, because it's like, again, we all have different answers, and that's what I feel like allows us to stick and allows us to gel really well, because we have different perspectives, but we also mold them and mesh them well as a team. But my answer is I am recalling a time where I met a phenomenal lady named Brianna Gatlin, who is like one of the biggest OGs like in any of this. And she welcomed me in her world in the blogging space, right? She runs Swank PR. And I say that because she's a very like close friend of Andrew Barber, who obviously runs Fake Shore Drive. And I just basically just picked her brain. Like I was honestly just like blown away to be in the same room as her. And I learned a lot just about Chicago media as a whole, right? And now you fast forward to like the foundations of Real Ones, and there's I feel like there's a lot of Chicago platforms, there's a lot of individuals that are doing things, but at the same time, when you space out, or when you back out rather, you realize there's also not a lot at the same time, right? And that's why I feel like the importance here for us is to remember like the ones that started any of this. So I reference like the Briannas, obviously the Andrews, and then now, us. And I don't want to speak for someone like Sydney, but I know she has a similar experience with, she was at Camp Flognaw recently, and she was spending a lot of time with Eric Montanez, who of course runs These Days. And, again, I don't want to speak on the story because she can tell it like much better than I can, but basically she was just telling me how like Eric was essentially just giving flowers to us, which is incredible because, we want to give credit to them. Because again, like these are people that are OGs in the space of the Chicago media that you're getting at. So it's just kind of like passing the baton, right? And at the same time, like even though they're passing the baton, like they're not done yet either.
Yeah.
So it's just a beautiful cycle of just making sure that we all play our part, because none of us are above the whole.
Yeah. Well, I think that Chicago's a very DIY space. So there's a lot of room to create something, and there's a lot of need and not thirst. That's the wrong. Maybe just need for things like media outlets or platforms.
Sometimes thirst, like
I mean, there's a lot of people making stuff, a lot of people making music. Right. There's a lot of like things to talk about.
Yeah, and like I'm very careful with my words, especially when like again like I'm not a Chicagoan, but just the more I've been able to interact and hear perspectives from people here. Chicago is so talented, but I'm from Kansas City, by the way. And
I'm from St. Louis.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Shout out Missouri. But like the reason I even say that is because the impressions of like Chicago, you obviously think of like the Chief Keefs, you think of like, the G Herc, basically like the drill scene, right? And then obviously like Chance the Rapper, who obviously Acid Rap right there, legendary mixtape. And there's no slight to like those names whatsoever, but it's just like that's the perception in terms of the sound, right? From some like outside states, but there's much more than that basically. And that's also a big reason as to why like Real Ones exists, to showcase, some of these other burgeoning like communities, artists, creatives, and sounds that do exist that you may not think of, or if you do think of them, you don't think that they're coming from Chicago.
Yeah. So how do you feel like you remain authentic as curators and music listeners?
I would say really in short, first and foremost, making sure that we're not like gatekeeping. And what I mean by that is like we have a team, right? We have a team of curators. You know, it's not as if like it's just me that's just running the whole playlist and just picking my favorites. And as a matter of fact, we actually just had our first like ever like team curation call, which is kind of like pretty dope considering that we've been able to do this up until this point, you know, just all off the love of music and all through like group chat style technology, you know. But, you know, now, you know, again, we're starting to have more just structure. And everyone on that team has their own individual tastes, and I think that's why we're able to remain authentic. And obviously, too, like we don't like to Jordan's point, you know, when he was speaking about like the seriousness, I felt what he was saying, because at the end of the day, like you don't want to be too serious in a sense, because then that removes kind of like the spontaneity of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, right, like music is free flowing and is it makes us feel good. So it's kind of just like a beautiful balance of like making sure there is structure there in terms of like not showcasing artists that, you know, have already blown up.
Yeah.
You obviously like to showcase artists that are more developing. But at the same time, like whatever you like, that's what you should choose. Never think too much. Don't think too much, you know, when you're picking music, right?
Yeah.
Don't pick something just because it's associated with the platform. Pick it because you actually love it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of spontaneity already baked into Real Ones, because y'all do those sort of like Ben said, you just appear at the festival and then you just do the interview. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's funny. So here's a clip from your interview with Liv.
Judging black women for like not being perfect singers, my nigga. I was in Berkeley doing a show last night. I don't know where this conversation came from, but I was like, I might be pitchy tonight. I don't know, but you know, don't judge me. It's not about hitting every fucking note. It's about the fucking soul, my nigga. Are you soulful? Do you feel what you're singing? And also, bitch, what if I want to sing like a white man? You know what I'm saying? What if I want to be like, they're not good, but it's so good because they're themselves.
So what are some long-term goals for Real Ones? Also, Elizabeth, I keep switching people and I'm just like not talking to the same person, you know?
Yeah.
Elizabeth, wait, first tell me what you do for Real Ones.
My role I feel like, what don't I do?
Seems like an all hands on deck situation.
Yeah, definitely. I do like Jordan, photography. So main photo op, and then I help wherever I can, playlist curation, show curation, social media, booking. Really,
I feel like I've seen you in a couple interviews.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Interviewing.
Yeah.
So wherever I can just help out, I'm happy to do it.
So long-term goals.
Yeah, for Real Ones overall, I think a long-term goal is just to be more established as a music platform. You know, eventually use our platform to create safe spaces for artists in Chicago, women in Chicago. I think eventually make some revenue.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
But overall, just build the brand, but build community, and just grow.
Yeah.
You know, we're all kind of like helping each other grow in our own way, and whatever. Like, I think what's really cool is that, like I said, we all help out in every aspect of Real Ones, and it helps us also grow like our own personal brand or like interests.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool about it.
How did the team come together? I think that, you know, it's just really interesting that I guess it was Ben and Brandon, and then y'all just kept adding.
Yeah, I don't know if I could really speak to this, but I joined the team like a year ago. I started out in the playlist curation. I think just people who show interest, show support, and just, I don't know, they'll reach out to us. And like I said, we're not gatekeepers.
Mm-hmm.
So we will try to help or take help from wherever we can. And then from there, I feel like, you know, whoever sticks around. And like Ben said, it's very hard to ask people for like free work.
Yeah.
You know? So I think someone who understands like that aspect of it and is still like 100% ready to be a part of it and is passionate about it too. I think that's kind of how it all worked out. We all showed that in some way.
Yeah, your platform feels very inviting, you know,
Yeah,
like
I like it. We're all very open.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot.
like not like I know you, but like I don't not know you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So what are you excited about?
I'm excited to pivot into new. Okay, let me see how to say this. So like I know right now we're kind of like stick into like the hip hop, R&B, rap community, and I am excited to kind of pivot outside of that. And I know we have some shows we're planning for this year that are kind of like an other. We all have a very different different personal tastes and like music, and just interests.
He told me you could tell me. So what are you?
Yeah. I'm getting there.
Okay.
So we're planning like a hardcore show. Very first curated with like heavier music, heavier bands. Primarily black and brown artists. I feel like
that's awesome.
In the hardcore scene, it's very white man dominated. You know
yes.
what I mean? So
I mean, like a lot of things.
Yeah. So primarily, I'm taking the lead on that, and I want to just give platform to these black and brown women or artists that are in that space. So give them a platform, and then we're also throwing. Can we talk about the baile? Yeah. Okay. We're also throwing a baile. So the gist of it is, like I said, just pivoting into different communities and forming more connections and meaningful relationships there. So I'm just excited to get into that. And obviously more shows, more interviews.
Yeah.
Just more cool stuff.
Yeah. So I'm turning the tables on y'all. Which one of y'all wants to shout out a real one in your life? Molly.
Wow. Okay.
Molly.
Yeah. Shout out my mom.
Damn.
This is the only question I'm answering.
Yeah.
I mean, all of you guys can, if you want to come up and stand behind her, but you also don't need to if you don't want to. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
How is this working? My mom.
Does anybody else want to answer? No?
I'll answer it. I'm already here. Do you guys want to?
In the hot seat.
No? Okay.
Real ones? Y'all don't want to shout your own real ones?
I want to shout out Ben.
We could come in there.
Oh,
yeah, just come
wanna,
stand.
like...
No, you shouldn't move. Just come up here.
Yeah, Ellie, you give your answer.
I would like to shout out Ben, who is the glue for all of this. Shout out that man. That is all I got.
Okay.
Ben, my mom.
Important people.
I'd like to shout out my mom. I'm a big mommy's girl.
Aww.
Huh?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes, happy
Literally,
Valentine's Day to all
literally.
moms and women. Women only.
I'm not mad at that.
And then every single person in this room, my real ones, I love them so bad, and I would not be here without them. So,
Awesome.
I've got an answer.
Oh, good. Just
shoot. I mean, I just want to. Of course, I feel like all the real ones are implied as a shout out, of course. But it's like I'm trying to go right into the camera right now. But just shout out to everybody that's like given us a chance, platformed us, believed in us when we did not have any numbers to our name and we were just, really just like conceptual. Like Brandon Shotwell, I want to give a shout to in particular at 1833. He's helped us in so many ways. Just guest listing us for shows, like really teaching us about, what it actually entails to like go out and book something crazy. And, he books a lot of stuff in like a similar lane to what we're doing, and he really like helped us believe that a lot of this shit was possible. So big love to Brandon, folks at 1833 as well. Love to These Days, like everybody over there has been super encouraging of us. The Ghetto Flower, Sad Boy Radio, Something Slight Show, everybody doing the media thing in Chicago too, like knowing that knowing that it might not result in revenue right away, but just doing it off of the love. Like, shout out to y'all, that's what we're out here doing. So keep doing it.
real talk. We're gonna close out with. You want to go? Yeah, no, I think that was he did his mic drop. We're gonna close out with Pink Sifu and Too Rich Benji's song "What You Want to Do."
Realest niggas in the field. I'ma tell you how it is. Shout it, we can do it, Side love. Side love and I'm a friend. Marseille, Paris. Spawn, baby, it's shit. Little nigga stay on trips. Bonnie Clyde, my twin. I smack a nigga. Smack a nigga like Will. Whoever ready is dead. If she ready, we gone. I said the better way to spend. She ain't never seen sin. She gon' ride to the wheel fall. I don't fuck with all y'all. Had to reset the car line. Whole nigga college still. Me and Shotty in the wind. Then I see from where you been. Nigga, all I know is win. Nigga, win, 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 win. Shit that bad, baby, dead. 50, 20, 10, 10. Fucking overseas, no blend. Yelling songs from the stand. I'ma red out. I'ma hit you back when I can. I want you to flip that, then bring it back, then flip that again. Them other hoes, talk shit, cause they can't. Do it like you can. It's too quiet, we too tired for the jet lag. When the playback in the crib. Gone, gone, we gone. Shut it, gone. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
She wanna know what my dreams look like. Can't let her know she in my head. She wanna know she just in my life.
You want me to be a
A big thank you to Real Ones for joining us today, and thank you to everyone for tuning into Something Slight on Kismet Radio. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Young Noodle Cup. That's YUNG Noodle Cup. And Private Stock Studios on Instagram and Twitter at PVTSTCK. And we'll be adding today's songs to our Something Slight Spotify playlist. And where can people find Real Ones on socials?
Oh, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all at Real One Show.
Okay, cool. We'll be back March 6th for our next episode.